In this episode, we talk about a law in Haryana which had provided 75% reservation in private jobs for the residents of the state. We also give you a quick update on the ongoing rescue operation for the 41 trapped workers in Uttarakhand. But first, we talk about a ban on halal certified products. Hi, I am Utsa Sarmin and you are listening to 3 Things, the Indian Express news show. On Saturday, the UP government banned all products that carry the halal certification except for those which are meant for export. Now, this comes only a day after a BJP youth wing member registered an FIR against a company and 3 organizations for providing illegal halal certificates to retail products sold in the state.
So this FIR was lodged on Friday evening around 6 p.m. On Saturday, the UP government started sending out updates to the journalists and to the media saying that a ban is being considered on these halal certified products.
That is the Indian Express's Asad Rehman, who covers Uttar Pradesh for the paper.
Now, till Saturday afternoon, evening, there was not a lot of clarity as to what the ban is going to be. But that clarity did come by the evening and the ban was imposed.
And Jamiat Ulema-e-Hind, which is one of the organizations that was named in the FIR, called these allegations baseless. To know more about the FIR which led to the ban and the concerns this ban has raised, we speak to Asad in this segment. So Asad, it was an FIR that led to the ban of halal certified products in UP. So first tell us what this FIR was about.
On Friday, an FIR was lodged at Hazratganj police station in Lucknow, and the complaint based on which the FIR was lodged was submitted by a Bharatiya Janata Yuva Morcha office bearer, which is the BJP's youth wing. In the complaint, the BJYM office bearer alleged that the practice of illegal certification of products as halal is ongoing in the state, and that it is being done in order to target a specific community, and the complaint alleged that it is against public faith and that it in a way affects the business of the other community. So that is the basis for this FIR that was lodged under various sections, including for criminal conspiracy and fraud and cheating. Now, this case so far has named 1 company and 4 organizations, including the Jamiat Ulema-e-Hind, which is an organization for the Muslim community in India. So the FIR had a fairly lengthy complaint making all these allegations about this practice being unfair to one community and that it is being used to harm certain businesses of another community. And this FIR is what led to this subsequent action that we saw on Saturday evening.
Right, and you mentioned that the FIR says that these companies give illegal halal certificate to products. Could you tell us what did the complainant mean by that? What is an illegal certificate and how a halal certificate is typically issued?
So what the complainant has tried to elaborate on and base the FIR on is that there is no legal provision or no government body in India which provides halal certificates. So generally halal certificates are given by these non-government bodies and non-government organizations which run on the basis of popularity. Some are more acceptable and some give these certificates to products. But it's not done by the government and there is no legal provision for this is what is the allegation in the FIR. So that is what the complainant has meant when he says that these certificates are illegal, because there's no government regulatory body or government supervision on this process of certification of halal products in India.
Right, in Asad, the FIR also connected the halal certificates with deceit, conspiracy, anti-national elements. Can you talk about that? How is the complainant making these claims?
So that is very speculative, those connections. So far, there's not a lot of clarity in the complaint. The complainant has merely said that he suspects that the funds from this illegal use of these certificates and the money being made from this practice is being used to fund anti-national, anti-social activities, and the money is going through to fund terror outfits. Now, there's no backing to this claim or this allegation, and so far the police has also not investigated the case enough to come up with any answers to this. So for now, it is merely an allegation that the BJYM office bearer has leveled on these outfits and these organizations that provide these halal certificates. There is no concrete evidence or any official statement on this from the police or the UP government on whether this is true or not. So for now, we should just treat it like an allegation.
So apart from this, we understand the complainant also raised an issue with halal certification on vegan products. Could you talk about that aspect?
So in the complaint, the BJYM office bearer has said that, again, it's just an allegation that even vegan products like cosmetics, like soaps and oil and other things are also being labeled as halal. And this, as per him, is against the rules and against the regulations. And he's alleged that the certifications are creating confusion and they're leading to misinformation within the society. And he said that these certificates are being given more specifically to things which do not really require a halal certification, because the concept of halal in Islamic law, and the word is an Arabic word, it basically means permissible. And then there is another meaning, which is how you slaughter an animal for consumption, for food, for the purpose of eating. So there is, the word itself has a larger meaning of how something that is permissible as per Islamic law, whereas the other meaning of the word is also how you slaughter an animal for the purpose of consumption of its meat. So the complainant has alleged that even products which have no connection to meat, like cosmetics and medicines and other such things, are being given a halal certification, which as per the complainant is wrong.
Right, and now coming to the ban, could you tell us what was the state's argument for banning halal certified products, which was imposed within a day of the FIR that we just discussed?
So the ban on the halal certification products by the UP government was put in by an official order that was passed by the UP Food Safety and Drug Administration. Its Commissioner Anita Singh passed an official order. It said, and I'm quoting, under Section 32D of Food Safety and Standards Act and powers under Section 32A of the Act, it is ordered that within the borders of Uttar Pradesh, a ban is immediately imposed on production, storage, distribution, and sale of halal certified food products. This, interestingly, is except for products which are being exported from the state. So the order also claimed that the halal certification is a parallel system that creates confusion, and that it's being given to dairy products, sugar bakery products, oil, ready to eat snacks and things like that, which as per the government order is within the rules of the Food Safety and Standards Act 2006. So this is what is the explanation or the reason for imposing this ban is for now by the UP government. They are saying that it is not within the legal confines of India that this ban has been imposed, and that is why halal certification as per them is an illegal process.
And Asad, could you tell us about the companies that were booked by the police? How have they reacted to this matter? What kinds of concerns have they raised?
So far, in the case on Friday in Lucknow, police have booked Chennai-based Halal India Private Limited, New Delhi-based Jamiyat Ulema Hind Halal Trust, and Mumbai-based Halal Council of India. Now, they've been booked under IPC sections for criminal conspiracy, promoting enmity between different groups, and hurting religious feelings. Also other sections like cheating, forgery, and using as genuine a forged document. So these companies, so far, most of them have not released a statement saying much and saying anything for that matter. But Jamiyat has released a statement and it has called the allegations baseless. It has also said that their certification process aligns with manufacturers' requirements for both export and domestic distribution in India. They've also clarified and put forward the point that the global demand for halal certified products is quite high, and that is why Indian products, if they're being branded as halal, is not something that should be stopped, and that it is something which is being endorsed by the Ministry of Commerce, Government of India. This is what the Jamiyat Ulema Hind in its statement has said. Now, it's also said that it is a matter of choice of individuals and manufacturers preferring to have these certain certifications for their own satisfaction based upon the credentials from which the certified agencies giving these certifications are coming up with. The Jamiyat has also said that it saves a large number of consumers from using products which they do not want for a variety of reasons, and also ensures availability of need-based products in the market. And they've also said that those who do not want to use such products are free to not use them. So there are two sides to the ban and to this whole incident issue of this ban. One side is like saying that it's about choice and it's about, the satisfaction about in terms of religious faith of a particular community. So while the UP government on the other hand is saying that this does not fall under any of the rules and regulations of the country, and that is why they've imposed this ban on products being sold with halal certifications.
And next we talk about Haryana. Last week, the Punjab and Haryana High Court quashed a law passed by the Haryana government which gave 75% reservation in private jobs to the residents of the state. The court was hearing a batch of petitions filed by private companies against the legislation which was passed by the Haryana Assembly in 2020. And while pronouncing its order, the division bench called the law unconstitutional and said that it will become ineffective from the date it came into force. To know more about the law and the issues it has raised in the state, we speak to Indian Express's Jagpreet Singh Sandhu in this segment. So Jagpreet, begin by telling us about this law that was passed in 2020.
Yeah, hi Utsa. So this is a law passed by the state of Haryana State Legislative Assembly, and it is called as the Haryana State Employment of Local Candidates Act 2020. So the act, which was enacted in November 2021, it came into force on January 15, 2022. And it made it mandatory for private employers in the state of Haryana to reserve 3/4 of jobs paying less than rupees 30,000 a month for local residents. So to make it more specific, as per the Haryana government, the new law provided for 75% employment to local candidates for providing jobs having salaries of less than 30,000 per month in various privately managed companies or societies, trusts, limited liability partnership firms, etc., which are situated in the state of Haryana, which are employing 10 or more persons.
Right, and could you tell us what were the reasons behind the Haryana government's decision to pass this law?
So, as per the Haryana government, they found it that the private employers were not offering or were reluctant in providing jobs to the local people in the state. And it was this aspect of unemployment of the local population which had to be addressed on priority basis by the state. So, this was the one reason for the state to pass this law. And further, there have been several contentions made by the councils for the Haryana government before the High Court. And they have justified the law on the ground that it made a reasonable classification on the basis of domicile, which was permissible and not violative of Article 14 on the grounds of geographical limits. Article 14 is about the fundamental rights, which is in our constitution, and geographical limits that they have talked about is that the law provided the aid to the locals only in the state and not beyond that. So there have been different petitions filed against it, challenging the law. And further, I would like to tell that High Court has also pointed out that the right to provide 75% reservation for employment in the private sector was only regarding the employment to low-paid jobs and not of other higher skilled expert or managerial or any other technical sound jobs.
Right, and coming to the petitions, what were the arguments given by the petitioners against this legislation?
Yes, there were actually a bunch of 9 petitions filed against the state of Haryana which have challenged this law. And the arguments by these petitioners were actually challenging the wires of the legal authority of this act. And they have alleged it to be unconstitutional and violative of Part 3 of the Constitution of India. The Part 3 of the Constitution of India, I would like to make it more clear. The Part 3 of the Constitution deals with fundamental rights, which are right to equality, including equality before law, prohibition of discrimination on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth, and also equality of opportunity in matters of employment. So coming back to the arguments raised by the petitioners through their battery of lawyers, there's so many lawyers they were through the petitioners, and the primary argument was obviously challenging the 2020 Act on account of the fact that it provides reservation in private employment and it creates an unprecedented intrusion by the state government into the fundamental rights of the private employers to carry on their business and trade as provided under the Article 19 of the Constitution of India.
And Jagpreet, we know that the court basically stood with the petitioners and quashed the law. So, what reasons did the court give while giving its order?
Yes, the case came up for hearing at the High Court firstly on December 23, 2021, and five different division benches of the High Court have heard the matter at length. Now, the final order came out on November 17, 2023 from the division bench of Justice Gurmeet Singh Sandhawalia and Justice Harpreet Kaur Jivan, which is the division bench of the High Court. And the bench, while hearing the matter at length, has straightforwardly said that the state cannot direct the private employers to do what has been forbidden to do under the Constitution of India. And the High Court has said that the private employer, being a builder, for example, raising a multi-storied complex, cannot be asked to not to employ a person who is skilled in the work of installation of woodwork, who might come from a particular area of the country, which is Kashmir, where this skill has been enhanced, whereas from another part of the country, labor, which is more skilled in setting up the steel frames and building are around, that is Punjab, whereas similar persons with different skills who would be more proficient in just executing the civil work, which is Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. So the High Court has completely said this, that it is completely beyond the purview of the state to legislate on the issue and restrict the private employer from recruiting from the open market for the category of employees who were receiving less than 30,000 per month. And the High Court has directed the private individuals to do what itself is barred from the Constitution, and such a brazen act of impunity thus cannot be swallowed by the constitutional courts. So the High Court has called it unconstitutional and violative of the Part 3 of the Constitution of India and has ordered it to be ineffective from the date it came into force.
Right, and could you talk about how the state government has responded to this?
Yeah, so soon after the judgment came out, questioning the law of the state, the Haryana government has been very quick in responding to it, especially to the media. And the Haryana government plans to appeal against the Punjab and Haryana High Court decision to question the law. And it is surely a setback for the Deputy Chief Minister Dushyant Chautala, as it was the key promise of his JJP party before the 2019 assembly polls. Speaking to the Indian Express, the Deputy CM Dushyant Chautala has said that they will move to the Supreme Court and file an appeal after thoroughly examining the High Court order. And the state is hopeful to get a relief from the Supreme Court. So it will be interesting to see further how the Supreme Court responds to the appeal of the Haryana government and what comes further into it.
And in the end, we give you an update on the rescue operations in Uttarakhand. Yesterday, in a significant breakthrough in the operation to rescue 41 workers trapped inside the under-construction Silkyara-Barkot tunnel, a 6-inch pipe to supply larger quantities of food and other essentials successfully reached the men who have been trapped for 8 days. Calling it the first breakthrough at the site, Anshu Khalko, the Director of National Highways and Infrastructure Development Corporation, said, quote, "We have sent the pipe 53 meters to the other side of the rubble and the trapped workers can hear and experience us." Unquote. While the earlier 4-inch tube was being used to supply food like dry fruit and medicines, the new pipeline will allow food items like roti and sabji to be sent to the workers. Meanwhile, work is currently underway on 5 fronts in the operations to rescue the workers who have been trapped since last week. And the Indian Express's Avanish Mishra, who has been covering the operation for the paper, explained the setbacks faced by the rescue teams.
On the initial first 2 days, the plan of the administration was to remove the debris and load them onto trucks and clear the path so that the workers could come out. However, on the second day, the administration and the authorities realized that it was not going to work because while they were clearing the pathway, fresh debris kept falling. On the third day, a machine was brought from Dehradun to drill through the debris and insert MS pipe so that those who are inside could crawl out. However, after that machine failed to be not enough powerful, another American-made auger machine was brought from Delhi. But on the next day, it also stopped working because after the 22 meters point, probably there was some hard rocks because of which the machine stopped working. As a contingency plan, another machine was brought from Indore, but however, in the last 48 hours, there has not been any significant progress. So now the administration is working on 5 different plans. The first plan is to create a path and reach the mountain, bring some machines over there, and after that start vertical drilling downwards.
And the Border Roads Organization, BRO, has created an access road for the machines to reach the top of the hill from where the essential supply pipe was drilled. And here Avanish tells us about the next stage of the rescue plan.
The next plan is to start drilling from the other side of the tunnel, which is the Barkot side. And as per our information, they still need to dig around 480 meters from the other side. The next option or the next plan we can say is to strengthen the tunnel so that there is no further collapse. And the final option, which they think is ultimately going to bring the workers out, is to restart the drilling inside using the American auger machine or the machine brought from Indore in case the American one does not finish the job. And they think that there is around 60 meters of debris, of which they have already cleared or created a passageway through 24 meters. And after they are able to dig through the remaining debris, they'll insert MS pipes and probably that will bring the workers out.
In the meantime, Prime Minister Narendra Modi yesterday called Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami to discuss the rescue operations. The Prime Minister said that the centre is providing the necessary rescue equipment and resources and that the workers will be evacuated safely through mutual coordination between the centre and the Uttarakhand government. He also added that the workers' morale needs to be maintained. You are listening to 3 Things by the Indian Express. Today's show was edited and mixed by Suresh Pawar. It was written and produced by me, Utsa, Sarmin and Shashank Bhargava. If you like the show, then do subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also recommend the show to someone who you think will like it and share it with a friend or someone in your family. It's the best way for people to get to know about us. You can also tweet us at Express Podcasts and write to us at podcast@indianexpress.com.